So, South African hip hop right now is dealing with some kind of generational standoff that no one really wants to say out loud. On the one side, we've got the veterans, guys who have built the foundation, and on the other side, we got the new school. We have the artists who grew up watching those very same legends, and now the tension is starting to surface on a public level. So recently, L-Tido made comments that basically pulled the curtain back on something that the OGs may have been feeling for years. That the new generation does not fully respect the history, the grind, or the sacrifice that built the industry. Then, almost perfectly timed, we see the launch of a new podcast from L.E.S and Maggz, two artists who were part of the wave that helped modernize SA hip-hop in the late 2000s. And if you read between the lines, this is not just a podcast, it is a platform, because here is the uncomfortable truth. A lot of the veterans feel like the narrative of SA hip-hop has moved on without them. The blogs don't cover them the same way anymore. The algorithms push different kinds of artists. And also the playlist no longer favors that sound. So what do you do when the industry stops telling your story? You build your own microphone, right? And that's exactly what we are seeing right now. We are seeing OGs launching podcasts, interviews, commentary platforms, spaces where they can control the narrative of the culture that they helped build. But now, here is where things get a little bit controversial, because some people are asking a dangerous question. Are the OGs protecting the culture, or are the OGs the same ones that are gatekeeping it? Because from a younger artist perspective, the argument does look different, right? The new school grew up in a completely different era, as well as a different industry. So streaming replaced physical sales, social media has replaced radio, and virality has replaced gatekeepers. So when veterans criticize them, some of the younger artists feel like they're being judged by rules that no longer exist. But now we also have to be honest, because some of the new generation, vele, they didn't do their homework, they ain't come up in them ciphers, they don't even know how to actually kick a freestyle off the top, you know what I mean? So they did basically skip the history lesson, and these are the same artists today who don't know the impact of the pioneers who carried the genre and the culture when it had zero corporate support. And this is where the frustration from the veterans kind of comes from, because people like L.E.S, Maggz, and even voices like L-Tido, Slicker, Abo Enzo Slages were the ones that were like fighting for brand deals, radio spins, and industry respect when hip-hop in South Africa was still considered a niche genre. They remember when hip-hop was battling for space against house music, kwaito, and now today it's amapiano. Which brings us to the bigger question right now. Is the generational friction holding South African hip-hop back from reclaiming its position at the top? Or is this exactly the kind of competition that the genre needs? Because if we are being real, hip-hop has always thrived on tension. Competition has built the culture, battles have built the culture, and disagreements also built the culture. From Bronx to Bramfontein, the danger isn't necessarily disagreement. The danger is when the conversation stops. If the OGs build platforms and the new school ignores them, then the culture does fracture. But if the OGs challenge the new generation, and then the new generation responds with better music, sharper ideas, and a stronger identity, then this might actually be the spark that South South African hip hop needs to evolve again. Because right now, while hip hop debates itself, other genres have taken the throne. And if the culture and the genre wants the throne or the game back, the conversation between OGs and new school cats can't just be emotional. It has to be competitive and it has to be honest.